Hello, guys. So Richard Hart had an extremely powerful tweet that he released that shows you exactly how you can make some passive income in the Pulse chain ecosystem and compares it to how things work on Ethereum. So we're gonna take a look at this tweet, right? It says, imagine locking up 230 million on Uniswap to earn $9,000 of fees in a day, right? Now let's look at that tweet. It shows the wrapped BTC and Ethereum trading pair that for the last day it generated $9,000. For the last 24 hours, 8,500, sorry, in fees, right? 8,500, because I saw this tweet earlier, that's why I'm saying 9,000, right? And at the same time, he talks about a wrapped BTC from Ethereum to wrapped Pulse, how much you can earn, which is 5,000 APR as well, right? So if you look at it, this is incredible because if you extrapolate the data from what Richard Hart is saying, right? If what it means is this is on Uniswap, that trading pair earns you roughly about 1% APR. On Pulse Chain, you can have a Pulse Chain wrapped BTC pair that can earn you 5,000. Now, okay, let's look at something here on the farms, right? So we can see some of the data that Richard Hart is talking about. We see there's a pair here, DAI from Ethereum and wrapped Pulse, right? 872%, APR 800, 260. So, okay, we don't see the 5,000, but we do see a lot of 800. Now, what this 800% means is extremely powerful. It means that you put 10 grand, you can get 8x out of it because that's 800%. And if you compare that with 1%, which is you put, so you can turn 10 grand into 80 grand. But listen carefully, guys, because this is leading somewhere. And these calculations just, it'll make sense a little bit later. You were 10 grand and then it's earning 1%. That's maybe $100 for the year that you've earned. So it shows you the power of Pulse Chain. However, this money is not in dollars, right? Because you're earning this yield is not in dollars. You're earning the cryptocurrencies fees generated from the cryptos that you're providing liquidity for, and they're also earning incentive token. So the value of incentive token can go up and down, it fluctuates. So there is that risk that the value of the tokens may not be, it's not guaranteed. So you can say that I'm putting 10,000, but it's not guaranteed that you get 80 at the end. So, but because of the volatility of the different assets and all those things, and there's also a risk of impermanent loss as well, right? So, anytime you're starting to do things to earn some kind of yield, you've got to understand as well that anything that you're doing increases some of the risk that you are engaging in the crypto space. So, you're definitely increasing some of the risk. And I would say that this is a great thing for people who want to earn income to come and yield from your own Pulse chain. Obviously, understanding the risks, and I would say do not use your entire portfolio for this. I would say you need definitely good asset allocation, saying and proper diversification, right? Saying, okay, this is my hodl position that I do not sell, that I don't do anything with, that is in cold storage, it just sits there. This is the position that I can play all these games with. I can yield from, I can do all sorts of things with it. Now, this in my mind comes full circle, right? Because yield farming actually started with Richard Hart, right? Most people don't know it. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about this as well, right? Because before Hex, no one had ever thought of incentivizing people with inflation, right? No one had ever thought that, okay, let me reward people with a token. So what Hex did was saying, okay, the only thing that people care about is the gains. And for you to get gains, you have to hodl. That's how you get gains. So why not reward people for hodling? And it was a mind bending thing for most people because some people didn't get it, but those that did get it then went on to create the yield farming mania. And what that was essentially this, right? Since Richard Hart decided to reward holders with fresh coins, they started to say, okay, I've got a new token. The token doesn't have much liquidity. If you give me liquidity, if you provide liquidity for our trading pay, I'm going to pay you with, I'm going to reward you with token. So this incentivization of using those tokenomics, that's when it started. If you look at it, right, Hex is created a few months later. You start to have yield farming. You can go and track the days. I think one of the first coins that did yield farming was a coin known as YFI. That was one of the first coins that did yield farming. But the concept started with Hex. So now we've come full circle because now Richard Hart has created a degen platform for people to to do yield farming, and then he shows us exactly how profitable it can be, and it's extremely profitable. But I'll say this again, guys. This is highly risky. You don't want to put your entire position here. You don't want to do that. And so the tweet that Richard Hart sent out is to entice those people who are in Ethereum. because there's 230 million between the wrapped Bitcoin and Ethereum pay that is and is earning very little yield. Now, the reason why they could say that maybe because Bitcoin is the most resilient cryptocurrency, is the biggest, so the risk is limited on Bitcoin, and the risk as well on Ethereum is limited. That's why again, when you have like a pair like PulseX pay, I think it's a similar relationship, right, between PulseX and Hex. Providing liquidity for those assets is not as risky as providing of other assets, but over time, I think that providing for other assets as these farms increase will be much more lucrative, but also much more risky. So, guys, when you see this, I think this is a starting point to start doing your research and understanding how yield farming works and the dangers and the risks and all of that stuff. So that if you want to get into this, if you want to get into farming these coins, you're getting into both eyes open, right? You don't want to lose your precious coins. Especially if you're provide if I mean, I'll say for the most part, right, yield farming with RH ecosystem tokens is not as risky as when you start jumping into other pairs. Even when you start jumping into stablecoin pairs as well, that kind of increases the risk as well. So I would say that, but yeah, I would be wary. But it is great news what Richard Hart is sharing with us, saying that okay, look, guys, you can make 800% here, and yeah. Another thing is this, right? This interest is not guaranteed; it's variable, so it can go up, it can go down, right? That's another thing. So it's variable because what you see here, if you go to this page, you see that the numbers are constantly changing. The more people jump in the pool, the less yield there is to earn, right? Because the yield comes from some of the trading fees and also comes from the incentive token. So if there's only so much incentive token being paid out, if there's more people competing for that same incentive token, more people competing for those fees, the APR reduces. Now, the beauty is this, right? This is where the gravy is. Pulse Chain is still a young, new ecosystem, right? Our transactions already, right now, are surpassing uh, most decentralized exchanges. And under those circumstances, that we have a very vibrant ecosystem that is being used, these are the returns that are there. That tells you that even if they drop, with more users coming on, even if if this APR drop, it will most likely still be extremely lucrative for now, given that it's still a new ecosystem and it's lucrative at a time with high power usage. Anyway, guys, this is exciting. This is an opportunity to earn some money. Like if it's an 8x, that means your 10 grand can be 80. If it's a 5x because of the variable interest, so one day it's 8x, another day it's 5x, it's still a good number. But as long as you can double your coins, right? It's still a good number. Now, I cannot emphasize that, guys. Understand, don't get into this with your eyes closed. Do your research first. I want to emphasize that point a lot, but I also want to emphasize that look, the gravy train is here. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again next time. Not financial advice as usual, and yeah, cheers.